Hello BookTube, it's Tag Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever you're watching this, and I have a really fun tag for you today. This is the Bible tag. It was created by Nikki at Writing for Jesus, so all the credit goes to her. And I thought I would do a Bible tag because I don't really talk about the Bible as a book itself on this channel that much, even though it's one that constantly lives rent free in my mind. And I thought it's time I do a tag that's I can just vent and rant and talk about my love of the Bible. So anyway, let's get started. This is so fun. Question one: what is your favorite book of the Bible? If you, I have a lot listed here, if I'm being honest, but the first one that came to my mind instantly was actually Ruth. It's short. There's a lot going on there, and the messaging is very beautiful, and also the way it connects to Jesus later on with Ruth's descendants and all that. So, but yeah, weirdly enough, my first choice was Ruth. But again, I love Jonah, Mark and Luke, the Apostles, Acts of the Apostles, Paul's letters. I love too. Song of Solomon, Psalms, Job, the Torah. Besides Leviticus, because Leviticus I've always found it to be a bit boring. Judges and Esther. Those are like my main core favorites. And when I look at it now, just then I realize that it's literally just mostly history books and the poetry, which I love. So yeah, those are like my favorites, if I'm being honest. Two, what is your favorite Bible story? I've got two here because I can't just pick one. I'm dividing this by the Old and New Testaments because you spice it up a bit. But my favorite Old Testament story is Daniel and the Lion's Den. I find it very charming. I loved it as a kid, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's got lions. That's pretty cool, and I love the imagery and around it too. But a lot of my favorite stories, I'll read like a story from the Bible, and I'll be like, that's good. But then I look at like the artwork inspired by it, and I'm just like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever had the privilege of reading. And so that also influences my favorite stories, if I'm being a bit honest. But so Old Testament's Daniel and the Lion's Den. And my favorite New Testament story has always been Jesus at the Garden of Gethsemane. Before what happens to him happens, and I find it just such a beautiful, quiet human moment, and you don't really see that in Jesus. Especially like depending on what gospel you go to, like you don't really see a lot of that quietness and a lot of the more human aspects of Jesus, and I don't know, Matthew or Mark or whatever. But I love all the Gospels versions of that story, and I can't get enough of the Garden of Gethsemane. I love it so much. Three, who is your favorite person in the Bible? And my favorite, I feel like people don't talk about Samson as much as he deserves to be. Samson from the book of Judges is crazy. He has crazy strength. He killed a lion with his own hands. That's pretty cool. And he defeated an entire army with the jaw of a donkey. Like, that's iconic king. We love that so much. But because it's the Old Testament, it's got to be a bit weird. And like, pretty much his Achilles heel is his hair being cut. And I kind of love that. It's a bit wild. You don't expect hair to be a weakness from a man so strong. But I love Samson. He's my favorite. Four, what is your favorite Bible verse? Now, I've never been a verse collector, if I'm being honest. So I picked what my favorite just for this one. It's Hebrews 11 1, and it's the best way I've ever found someone to describe faith. And it says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." And I just find that really direct and powerful, and I love it so much. And it kind of applies to me because I'm not really like Christian or religious at all, but I just love that verse, that quote so much. Five, what is your favorite translation and Bible to read that you own? I have a lot of props here because I've done a video before where I've gone through all my Bibles, and I have so many. It's starting to get a lot, and I can't get enough of it, if I'm being honest. In terms of ones I don't have right now, I do want to invest in the Robert Alter translation of the Hebrew Bible, because I've heard that his notes and introductions and his translation itself is so iconic. And I feel like I'm missing that, and so I'm saving up to get to it because it is a bit expensive. But in terms of my tried and true, I've got to pull these out the way. I have Oxford King James here. It's all tabbed up and all that. This is, if I need to find something, I go to this one for I don't know, if I just want to read it, I just pick it up. I also, if I want to challenge myself, I do love, like LOVE, love the William Tyndale translation of the Bible. I've been, of the New Testament, sorry. He did do some books of the Old Testament. He done Jonah, and I think like a couple bits of the Torah. I could be wrong about that before he died, but yeah, Tyndale. I've been reading this for the last couple of days. I want to do the New Testament over the next like 2 weeks with Tyndale, but because I love Tyndale being read out loud. I love his language. He's one of my favorite English writers. For me, he's like up there with Billy Shakes because he's just incredible. But I struggle so hard with the font, like that. I can do it barely, like borderline. I'm struggling, but once I get into it, I can do it. It's just the font. Like I'm fine with the grammar, I'm fine with the spelling. It's just the font's so hard to read. But I love the Tyndale. I'm a Tyndale girly at heart. I also have the 1611 edition of the King James too. Again, if I want to push myself a bit more, I will pick up the Tyndale, or I'll pick up the Geneva Bible too, because why not? Again, I can read a good bit of it. I struggle with the fonts pretty much. I have a lot more. If I want notes, I do have a couple just Bibles that are connected with notes. This is the Norton Critical King James, edited by Herbert Marks, of course. This is massive. It's one of the greatest resources I have for the Old Testament, and I love it so much. It's such a useful book. If you ever see it, pick it up. It's amazing. And notes for the New Testament. I have been addicted to Raymond Brown's introduction to the New Testament. I love Raymond Brown. This is the only thing I've read from him because I barely see him anywhere in Australia. And I know he does like the birth and death of the Messiah, and I haven't found those anywhere, but I love his introduction. His notes to the New Testament are so amazing, and I can't get enough of it. It is so addictive. And just for like new translations, of course I do like the NIV occasionally too, and I love that. I do love the Willis Barstone translation of the New Testament too. I love that. And yeah, so those are like my main core Bibles I go to. But particularly I've been leaning towards a Tyndale. And mostly, yeah, so I've just been reading a Tyndale. Let me know what you think of a Tyndale because I love William Tyndale. And so yeah, those are my main Bibles. There's more, but like those are my core ones. What's next after that tangent? 6. What is your favorite hymn, chorus, song, singer, and band that does Christian music? I don't have any really. I don't listen to Christian music that much, but I love some traditional songs. I love Iduema. Iduema. I love that one. I'm not sure if I said it right, but I love that. Where the Soul of Man Never Dies. I love that one. And The River of Jordan. So just some standards. I don't have a favorite person that sings it. I do love Willie Nelson. He does do an amazing cover of Where the Soul of Man Never Dies. And it was Tony Rice and, oh my God, I can't remember his name. Tony Rice and, oh my God, I can't remember. I feel so bad because I love his mandolin playing. He's got like the high pitched country voice. But anyway, I love those 3 songs pretty much. So yeah. Question 7. What is your favorite Christian movie? I've never seen a Christian movie. Does VeggieTales count? Because I remember seeing them as a kid. But yeah, I don't have a favorite Christian movie because I'm not religious and I don't really watch it if I'm being honest. 8. What is your favorite speaker or preacher? Augustine, for me personally. I love Augustine or Ignatius' speeches. Those 2 are my favorite. In terms of modern ones, I don't have any because, again, I'm not religious. I don't really search out for it, if I'm being honest. But if you have any in the comments, let me know. 9. What is your favorite fiction and non-fiction Christian author? I'm going to stick to non-fiction. Oh, a bit of fiction here, but we have obviously Saint Augustine. Confessions, City of God alone, and his sermons are iconic. His notes on Genesis, I love. He wrote a lot, and I can't get enough of Augustine. He's one of my favorite writers ever. Marjorie Kemp, of course, the inventor of traveling and the creature herself. What do I need to say? Saint Ignatius too was iconic. This is a bit of a cheat here, but I am going to put the venerable Saint Bede. Even though he's a bit more of a historian, I love Bede. He's like a friend. He's really lovely. John Donne. He's one of my favorite poets. We're not going to have George Herbert on here because we have John Donne. Jack Miles too, I love, and Bert Arkman. He does. Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but I've read a lot of his stuff. He's a bit one note for me, but I do like his books nonetheless. 10. What is your favorite what is your favorite fiction and non-fiction Christian books? Now we're going to stick to non-fiction because I don't read that much fiction about Christianity, but I love God and Christ by Jack Miles. They're biographies of God and of Jesus, and they're just incredible. One of the best things I've ever read. Jesus Through the Centuries by Jaroslav Pelkin or whatever. I can't say that name. I'm so sorry. Jesus Through the Centuries is one of the great books about Jesus and just the image and how that developed over time. It's iconic. Pick it up if you haven't. Medieval Christianity by Kevin McGain. Probably my favorite medieval book that's centers around Christianity, because I haven't found that many, but I do love that one. And again, oh my god, The Introduction to the New Testament by Raymond Brown. Those are like my main favorite Christian nonfiction books. There are some bit more here and there, but those are my main ones. But yeah, that was a very fun tag. That was the Bible tag. Again, thank you, Nikki, for creating this. It got me the chance to break out all of my Bibles that you haven't seen on my channel for quite a while. But yeah, it was nice to tell you guys that I'm reading Tyndale. I'm struggling, but I'm getting through it, and I really love the English. So yeah, thank you so much for watching BookTube, and I will see you next time.